Oh, hey guys.
Look over here.
Hello.
Hello. And
Hello.
welcome to
Look over here.
where we're going to be talking about the looks from Dragula, episode 2 of season 6. And we're going to be talking about our killer doll looks. I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I still have a cute shirt. Hey, this is actually the perfect shirt. Killer dolls, killer dolly, right? Yeah.
I respect a
There
good
we
pun.
go.
I
Thank you.
respect a good pun.
Thank you. And I really like this shirt. I think this is maybe my favorite Dragula shirt I have. And I once again want to show the back because the back is really good.
Is that your
Ooh.
favorite Dracula winner, David Healy?
You know, that's a good question. I think Dolly's definitely in the conversation because Dolly, Landon, I really like Victoria. Oh, Vander, bitch.
Notice
I
how
think
You
Neo
literally
did
have
come
not
up
mentioned
whatsoever.
one name. You
Okay.
did not mention exactly one name.
But I really like Neo too. I just think Neo is maybe not as well rounded as a lot of the other winners.
Agreed.
But I like the winners of Dragula are some of the best like pound for pound winners of any competition show. So, but anyways, before we get too far astray, I'm drinking water.
And my name is Jack. I am your live experience expert. And I mean, there's no clowning around this topic. There is a lot to discuss here. Thank you. Thank you. I've been trying to think of a good pun for about 2 minutes, and that was the best thing I could get.
Mhm.
And I, as well, am just drinking some water.
And hi, once again, I'm David Healy. I don't have a cute intro, but I still have a cute shirt. I'm still wearing my Scylla shirt. But it's actually Brooke. I am your reigning defending queen of the Cup ringside. With a regained title after this past weekend, I won the Bad Blood predictions. Go watch that over the Cup ringside channel if you're a wrestling fan. Thank you very much. But I am ready to go full the Vixen because I'm just here to fight.
Ooh, we might be getting into it because I think we're going to disagree on a couple of people at least. But yes, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Once again, please be sure to subscribe to our channel, subscribe to all the channels in the Cup family network, and please like this video, share this video because I know there's somebody you know that would like to watch this. So please share with them and hit that notification bell so you can get any sort of notifications when we go live and put out videos, and leave comments.
Speaking of other things you can get that are connected to the cup, you can also get your cup mug. Cup mug.
Panel full of cup mugs.
Panel full of cup mugs. We don't have the LED lights, sorry. But you can get that and other cup merchandise at laundrycreations.etsy.com. Link is in the description down below. We do ship domestically here in North America and internationally across the entire globe. So there are no excuses, of course, unless your country is underwater, on fire, under siege, or if you live in hell, because that's technically not part of the package of the delivery areas we go to. I am so sorry to all of the exterminated Dragula monsters.
Well, should we get right into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Okay, so our theme this week was definitely killer clowns, right?
100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, like at least half the looks were clown based. Obviously, no one knew before, and it's very much a kimono situation of
Not the kimono.
Oh fuck! I thought I was being unique. No, you're not. But
I love me Night of 1,000 Kimonos, and I
Yes.
definitely love Night of 1,000 Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But not Killer Dolls.
For the record,
actual
yes.
team.
Killer dolls is the theme. There might have been a mistake by accident when the slideshow was made.
Oh, this wasn't a mistake. This is a delightful joke.
Yes. Okay. We'll go with that too. Okay, so first up for our killer dolls, we have Pie. What did you think of Pie, Brooke?
A fantastic look. I think this is one of my favorite looks of the week. I did not have Pie in my top 4, mainly because I don't think Pie was like particularly memorable in the lip sync. And I think those things do kind of need to be brought in a challenge where lip sync is present. But if this was purely a design look, Pie would have been in my top 3 for sure. I think this entire, like, this was probably the most complete answering of the doll question, in my opinion. And I think that was really cool. I think this was awesome, and I cannot wait to see what Pie does in the future.
Yeah, I mean, what we're seeing from this week and last week's look, and also the promo look, is Pie's signature style of drag is as big as fucking possible. And I love this so much. The stitching on it is perfect. It is beautifully bloody. I love the sewing needle as a weapon. I also love the blonde hair being like the only real yellow of like, oh no, it's still beautiful. And I will also give credit to the button eye at the very top because that does move freely. It is not tied down, and that added a really nice visual to this. The only thing I will say is it once again with Pie was very one note. Once it got out on the stage, that's all there was. And I want to see Pie do something else, like have some sort of gag, but I mean, it hasn't come to it yet, so maybe we just haven't seen it.
Yeah, this was one of my favorites for sure. I really like the interesting take on primary colors because you have like these muted yellows, blues, and reds throughout it. And it made for really interesting color blocking. The stitching was very good. And I do like the theme of Pie once again. He's in a big costume and you can see her face through the mouth. And I wonder if that's going to be an ongoing theme throughout the season. But overall, I thought this was a very, very solid look. Scores.
This is a 90 for me. Oh, okay.
This
Quick question before I actually score. Are we just scoring the look, or are we also scoring the lip sync? Because that will affect my scores.
That is up to you. I'm just scoring the look.
Okay, just the look and only the look, a 95.
Okay.
I am also going to go with a 95.
Okay.
On purely the look.
Fair. I am going to go with an 88.
Valid.
Okay. Next up, we have Majesty. And Jack, will you start us out this time? We'll just switch up the order each round.
Sure. I really did like this. Very simple in terms of actual concept. I don't necessarily get killer out of this. I will say that. There were 2 really nice gags with the flower and guts, but is it Raggedy Ann? Is it Ugly Dolls? Either way, fits the prompt fits at least the doll part pretty nicely.
Yeah, I wish I liked this more than I did. I think it feels a little too small and a little too simple. And I can't help but wonder, like, oh, is this the look you kind of phoned in this season? Because I really liked her look last week, and this one just left me disappointed. I really don't like this wig. This wig is atrocious. And sure, it's very doll-like, but I want some elevation. If you're going to do a doll as a drag monster, just drag it up for me. And don't just do like normal doll hair. So yeah, even the colors weren't doing it for me. So, I mean, like, it's not a horrible look. It just left me wanting a lot more.
She looks like a really old traffic cone from like the neck down to the waist.
Oh god! No, now I can see it. Oh my god.
It looks like a really faded traffic cone. I am fully in agreement with Jack on this. I get doll. I don't get killer whatsoever. Now, is she killed? Sure. 1000%, but it wasn't killed dolls, it is killer dolls. I need to see a knife, a pair of scissors, an axe, something, right? Something to indicate to me that you are a murdering doll. And this is the first of yet a several large amount of the people on this cast this week that did not meet killer doll. It is a 2-part assignment, and if you didn't meet both, I automatically have people above you that did. And I think Majesty is the first of many that did not meet the assignment.
Okay.
And also, even if she did, I still don't like the look. So,
Okay, scores, and we're gonna keep the same order with Brooke starting, and then Jack.
50.
50.
Ooh, wow. I still had it at an 82.
Okay, I gave it a 73. And then next up, we have Jaharia. So I will start with Jaharia. First of all, I will say I do think she was probably the best in the lip sync. But on the other end of the spectrum for me, I feel like this was my least favorite look. I didn't get doll much from this at all. Like, I think just about everybody else, if you had me guess what the theme was, I eventually would have gotten to doll. I don't think I ever would have gotten there with Jaharia. And this, I think after last week when she came out and really surprised me with that look, then we see this look and it just feels like something I would have found on her Instagram. I wanted to see a little bit more elevation. This just feels a little too simple overall. I will give her credit because I do like these colors. This purple and this green really goes well together. And the wig is really cute. Not sure I understand the knife. I guess if she's the size of a doll, then I guess she's just proportionately, like, the knife would be that size with her. So I guess she's doll-like there. But overall, the look wasn't great.
Okay. So I am going to slightly, very slightly disagree. This much, okay? This was my third least favorite of the week. Actually, okay, look-wise, bottom 2. But I will say I at least got killer from this, which is more than I got from a decent chunk of these looks. So there's that. Didn't get doll, did get killer. So at least she's halfway there, just like Majesty. And like, I agree. I think compared to last week, where I thought Jaharia was one of the best looks on the runway last week, personally, in that floor show, I don't think this is at the same level as that look. But also, maybe this was the week Jaharia decided to phone it in.
Maybe.
And like, if everybody decides to phone in the same week, it just looks like everybody did a bad job. So like, I love the prop. I think the prop is really cool. I just wish it went with a better outfit. Unfortunately, I will agree. I think she was definitely in the top solely because of that lip sync. I don't think this look had anything to do with it. Because she was great in the lip sync. She was the best person in the lip sync, in my opinion. But, ooh, girl, this is not my fave.
I do have to agree that on first look, if you just showed me this image and said, tell me what category this is in, I would really, really struggle, as the half scissor prop does not make any sense with this look. If it was more clearly inspired by the Monster High dolls, if it was like clearly referencing some sort of other thing and then dragged up the way that Monster High dolls are, where it's very clear they're taking some sort of famous monster or monster type and then transforming it into a very high fashion doll, I'd accept it. The first thing that came to my head when a half scissor was mentioned was Gwen from League of Legends. And I feel because that is actually a living doll. So I feel like if you went more the line of Gwen with full scissors and this really pristine, beautiful doll that is using scissors to chop people up, I think it would have worked better. I think this falters in a couple places on recognizability. But yeah, no, the lip sync was incredible.
See, it's funny you mentioned League because I don't play League. I'll be 100. The first thing I got when
I
you
have
mentioned
problems.
this is you're totally fine, valid, even if that game is weird. But and weird, I mean expensive. Beside the point. I was getting Kill la Kill because the scissor blade and Kill la Kill, but then the rest of the look doesn't correlate to that at all. But again, I think it was a good concept that just didn't really mesh well with the assignment.
I do think Jennifer Tilly did nail it though, of like, this is the character that every single gay man chooses in a fighting game. Like, if the prompt was some sort of video game theme, this wins the week no matter what. Right. I feel like this is just the wrong category.
This is very much giving me Soul Calibur now that I think about that. Like that's another thing. But yeah.
I also love that Jennifer was like, I love that you squatted down and then you were able to get right back up. And it showed it. And I'm like, oh, she just literally squatted and then stood back up.
Like, that's not the impressive trick. The windmilling was more impressive.
But it's
maybe Jennifer can't do that anymore.
But Jennifer Tilly did find that impressive, and
Jennifer Tilly is old enough to be getting Social Security. I think she's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay, scores, Brooke.
I unfortunately, because it does not meet the criteria of the assignment, even if I do really like the look, I'm going to have to give it a 45.
I had it at a 75.
I gave her a 61. Okay, next we have Scylla.
Okay, I am so prepared to fight both of you because you both have this in your bottom too. Okay.
Yes.
But wait, Brooke, you get to go last.
No, I get to
Oh
go
no, it is your
first.
turn. It is your turn.
No,
Sorry.
it is Brooke first.
So I'm just gonna say this. Factoring in the lip sync, did Scylla get tied up in her sash in the lip sync? Absolutely. Right? No comment on that. I think the lip sync was not the best. I think it was arguably one of the worst people in the lip sync just from that alone. I think this is one of like 4 people who fully answered the criteria of this assignment. Completely. Is the concept immediately you look at it and you say, oh, that's a doll? Maybe not. But I can definitely see the doll aspects, like the white arms and legs, like the really white coloring. The idea of what she was trying to present and trying to convey that she conveyed in the lab. I think I get it. I understand where she's coming from. Again, execution, maybe not perfect. And again, that's what we had mentioned with Scylla, is that her execution may not be 1000% there. But in a week where I think at least 5 people did not meet the criteria of killer doll and Scylla hit killer and doll, Scylla cannot be in the bottom for me. I don't see that. Because if the whole thing is we are judging your interpretation of the challenge, she at least did the challenge. And a lot of other people did not do that. And I cannot put Scylla in the bottom when she did. I think I liked her look better than one of the other people who did hit the challenge. That's why I have her in my top 4. I think my top 4 were the 4 people who hit it the best out of the 5 people who did the challenge. So is this look altogether very special? No, I don't think so. I think if it was just no challenge whatsoever, do the look, I think this would probably be 3rd for me this week from the bottom. But she did the challenge, and a lot of other people didn't. So I can't fault her.
If you took the giant button in the center away, could you identify this as a doll at all? That is my main problem. Yes, it does meet the criteria of doll, but it feels very, very loose to that point, and also doesn't make sense as a doll. Why do we have a runner? Why do we have a pageant doll? Why is it a runner-up? And why is she scalping people? Like, For all the others, it's more classical, and I can see the reasoning behind it. Maybe not Jaharia, but this just, the concept to me is a weird place to start from. And unfortunately, I just don't think it's super well received. In my opinion, it was very, oh, wait, what am I looking at? Like, I was trying to get the idea almost the whole time. And if I wasn't told the concept before seeing Scylla on the runway, I'm sure I would have been completely confused.
Yeah, I think that comes down to some of my issues too. Like, at first glance, I would not guess this was a doll. Once I hear it is a doll, I'm like, oh, okay. But what's interesting about this doll? Because I would not have known those are scalps on the sash or the shawl that she has. I wish it was a little bit more obvious, and I don't really get the runner up part of it. I don't think it's a bad look by any means. I like the boots or leggings or whatever those are. I think this is probably my favorite of the three looks she's had on the show so far. I just wish it had a stronger point of view and a more clear point of view, if that makes sense. But it's not bad by any means.
Can I try to explain it, maybe? My whole thought process was Scylla is the runner-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in order to not be the runner-up, she has scalped all of the people that were ahead of her, right?
Right.
That's the idea. And to me, that's a creepy doll-like character with the. I mean, granted, you were saying if the button wasn't there, is it still a doll? The button is there, right? True. So, like, to me, again, if you hit Killer and Doll and a lot of people didn't, I can't put you in the bottom. I just can't, based on the criteria of the assignment.
Okay, scores?
Just on the look, not comparing to the assignment, just the look is like a 70.
I have it at a 50.
Well, I'm the highest. I have her at 72.
Work, Diva.
Okay, next up, we have Vivvi the Force, starting with Jack.
This is not a doll. That is my first issue with it. You could tell me it was a killer clown and I would be completely on board. I am so confused how this is a clown, especially because we see the very clear interpretation of a clown doll being shown by Auntie Heroine, and we see it shown by Grey Matter. This, in my mind, fails to read doll for me in almost every way and just feels like a clown I could see at Fright Fest. And granted, I really love the look as a whole. It is very dirty. It is very clear on its concept, but I don't see it as a doll. I fail to see it.
Well, I completely disagree. I think there are plenty of dolls that look exactly like this. Well, maybe not as horrific, but I've seen so many clown dolls. I appreciate that Vivvi did not go with generic doll like some other people did here. She wanted to do a specific kind of doll and probably didn't realize other people would be doing somewhat similar looks. So I think as a concept, I appreciate the originality or attempt at originality. But as a look, I really like this. I think this is one of the strongest looks just as a look by itself. I think it has all of the right horror elements. It has a certain level of grit and polish to it that really works. I love the bedazzled scissors. I just thought this was a really, really strong look. Was she memorable in the lip sync? I don't think so. I don't think she was somebody that they showed a lot in the lip sync. But what I got from her when she was just walking down the floor show, showing off her look, it gave me a lot of personality and presence. So I really like this one.
I fully agree with Jack. I did not get dull from this whatsoever. Did not meet the criteria of the assignment. Also, I think she was probably outside of one or two other people. She was in the bottom like 3 or 4 for me out of the lip sync. What we saw of her was very lifeless. And again, we didn't see much of her, so there's not a ton to grade her on. But what we did see was kind of boring. There wasn't really much behind the eyes there. Granted, maybe that's what she was going for because, doll. But like, I'm getting killer, I'm not getting doll. And to me, killer is the adjective, right? So if you're hitting killer, that's not too hard to do. You really only need a prop and you're fine. Doll is so much more important to this challenge. And when you're not hitting doll, that's when you lose me. And that's why I have Vivvi in the bottom for this. I think this look, as great as it is, because I think in terms of just construction and visual, this is one of the best looks of the week. But because it doesn't meet the criteria of the assignment, down to the bottom.
I will say, particularly, where this loses me is the hair. The hair in particular, if you had more of a jester's hat, if you had a kind of split hat and the hair was coming down, that reads more dull to me. When it's just sticking straight up, it only reads clown. And I think that's where it kind of loses.
I do want both of you after this recording to go to Google clown doll.
Oh no, I did.
Scroll until you run out of seeing clown dolls, because I won't hear from you for a couple of days.
I'm not saying clown dolls don't exist. I'm saying, to me, this didn't look like a clown doll. It looked like a clown. That's what I'm.
And as I am scrolling through the clown dolls, if they have this kind of head on top, it is a hat, and it is a pointy jester's hat, like someone else does. It is not specifically hair. Hair is very curly. There's a very.
I'm not going to nitpick that hard, but I'm just saying, personally, for me, Jack, I fully agree with you in terms of like your viewpoint on this look. To me, I just didn't get doll from it at all. I got clown, like straight up clown.
Scores.
Again, not judging the look in relation to its hitting of the assignment. This is going to be a 40.
I also had it at a 40.
Wow. I gave it an 89.
Wow.
Okay.
Anyway.
Next up.
Let's go to the look we hopefully more agree on.
No, we don't agree at all, Jack.
Uh-oh. We have Aurora Gozmic. So I like the concept behind this. Like, this feels like the most like a plastic doll of anybody. And she does kind of have like the double meaning with, I wouldn't have noticed this if the judges hadn't pointed out, but the idea of a trans person being a doll. So I thought that was clever. I think my issue is I kind of lose her. It just becomes almost completely a costume, and I get like barely any of her face. So it left me wanting more of her to come through the look. But as a look itself, it's pretty good, and I like the colors. I didn't really notice the fit issues until they pointed it out. I do wish it was a little more grand because we had some pretty big looks on the stage. But overall, I thought this was solid.
Okay. So I will say, killer doll, I get it. This was my least favorite killer doll to hit the runway this week. My biggest problem with this look has nothing to do with this itself. It actually has to go back to season 5. Okay, so if we take a quick little rewind back to season 5 of Dragula, specifically the sex worker outer space challenge. Okay, this is so similar to Cynthia Doll's sex worker outer space look that it bothers me. The only difference is the color's a little bit different, and it's not quite the same proportions. It is a solid bodysuit with a bikini on top of it, with blonde hair, big painted on red lips. Like, it's very similar. And it's pink instead of green, and there's a needle this time, and there wasn't one with Cynthia. And that bugs me quite a bit. I also agree in terms of like grandiosity. This was very small on the runway. I didn't notice the fit issue. It's a bodysuit. I don't care. But like, just the fact that it felt so similar to another look that has already been on Dragula, in a world where Dragula is always known for everybody pulling out these crazy things you've never seen before, it bugs me. I think she looks great in terms of like what she actually did, but I don't think it was her like unique, really.
So I am always one for a good pun. And I mean, taking the concept of Killer Doll and transforming it into a trans woman as a doll is a pretty bang-on interpretation that is very unique and very, very homely to Aurora. I will also say, hormones as in HOWHORE on the syringe. Also love that. Beautiful pun. It is maybe a little basic. I will agree with you on that. But I do think this look still worked. And I think it was very clearly a doll. Maybe if I'm looking at the whole concept, Killer doesn't make as much sense. But I think that it is clear enough to where I'm still happy with it.
Oh, that's all. Scores.
A 70.
I gave this a 91.
I gave her a 76. Okay. Next up, we have Gray Matter.
Is it me?
It is.
It's me. Okay. The second Gray stepped out onto the stage, I was agape. Because the first week I didn't love Gray's look last week. I thought it was good, but like, especially that screenshot Logan took, it did look like a dick, and I couldn't get it past my head. Not a Desiree Dik, just a dick. This, on the other hand, this is the Gray Matter I fell in love with from that promo. This is high drag, high concept. And I don't mean high drag in the literal term high drag. I mean like high quality drag. This is spooky, but not spooky. Creepy. Creepy is the word of the week. It is creepy. This is haunting, and I could not believe when Jennifer Tilly said that this was her new sleep paralysis demon. I felt so seen. I felt so heard. I felt vindicated. Thank you, Jennifer Tilly. But also, this is great. I honestly think this was a toss-up on who could have won this week. And if Gray would have won this week, I would not have been mad. I would not have been surprised. I did slightly prefer Auntie, but like either way, I think Gray was phenomenal this week. And Gray's going to be looking real nice in that finale. We're going to have an entire season to ogle him.
I mean, this is what I think of when I think haunted clown doll. It is the very shiny, frilly textures all the way down. It is the pointed hats on top. It is the full white face. This was a smash hit, and I think it was extremely clear that Gray hit the prompt. I also love that the weapon is literally just his mask on a giant spike. I mean, I cannot complain with that at all. I mean, I think this is probably the clearest hit of the prompt itself, visually, right off the jump.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. And I do want to give Gray a lot of props for that lip sync because if I'm being honest, I think Gray was the one that stood out to me the most when I was watching the lip sync. I was watching things she was doing and I was very surprised. I did not expect her to have so much personality and so much animation during the lip sync, but she really nailed it. And also the look is phenomenal. I think that this is a kind of look that just feels cinematic. Like I think we're going to see that a lot from her. Like her creatures that she creates or their creatures that they create are characters that could absolutely work in film. And I think the only other person that really does that so successfully is Victoria Black. So I think they are on that same type of level with these looks. And
So I
yes,
guess that means Gray's gonna win Titans.
ooh,
Titans 2.
well, I'm okay with that as long as we get to see Gray more than once. Hey, and Black, Gray.
Mm,
Ooh.
Mm.
But yeah, the look is incredible. I like that we're keeping with the theme of like the sawed off head because that's happened twice in a row. I'm wondering if that's their signature is just having this sawed off head part
To
here.
expose their gray matter.
Mm,
Shh.
makes sense.
I only caught it literally this episode of, wait, that's back. That wasn't a thing the first time. Oh.
Yeah, and there was another recent Instagram post where it had that as well. So I love when people have a signature like style with their look. So I'm here for it. Also, I did confirm that my theory about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like my interpretation of it, was not correct because I talked to Gray on Instagram about it. So, but it was still a fun theory to have.
Yeah, Gray, if you're watching, you did great. Fantastic work.
For sure. Okay, scores for Gray.
Cindy, that TV is leaking. 100%. Full cup.
This is going to be a 98.
I gave Gray a 97.
Wow. High praise from David Healy.
It is. This was my favorite look of the week.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Yuri. Jack.
This, in concept, I think is pretty damn perfect. I mean, at least the hands you can immediately tell killer doll. It isn't shown in the actual thing, but Yuri also has blood in their mouth that just spills down during the lip sync, and I think with that as well, it's really good. I love this headpiece and how it is connected to every other joint. That is incredible. It reads so perfectly, and it is such a cool visual to have on the stage. I also love this mask. I really love this look, and I could have sworn this was going to be in the top.
Yeah, for me, I think this was kind of in the middle. I like the idea more than I like the execution. I think the hands and the mask are the best part. Everything else feels a little bit underdeveloped for me, and I'm getting a little nervous because this is a second time in a row that I've felt like the boundaries with the looks are not being pushed as hard or as far as I would like them to go. But yeah, I do like that she went outside of the box compared to a lot of other people. It just I don't know that she knocked it out of the park. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, David, you may not know, but I certainly know, and I think she absolutely did. I am fully with Jack on this. I am stunned this was not in the top 3 or the top 4, I suppose, this week. I think this was one of, if not the coolest look for me this week. I don't think it was my favorite, but I think it was cool, and I think it was sleek. I'm kind of happy there's not more going on than the mask and the hands. I think that should be your point of focus on this. I love the headpiece. I think it adds such a unique dimension to this look because realistically, it didn't need to be there, right? Like we still probably would have gotten Marionette from this anyway, but because it's there, it adds an extra layer to what would otherwise be a rather pedestrian look to me. Um, and that mask is terrifying, and it will be haunting my dreams tonight. Thank you very much. I this should have been in the top. I'm with Jack. I love this.
Okay, scores.
94.
I had 93.
77. Okay, moving on. We have Desiree Dik. So what I did like, we didn't mention this in the recap. I did like her talking about this look, and it's supposed to be a Peruvian doll. And she told her backstory with like being sent to live in Peru after her parents separated, and then having to come back and live with her dad. And she didn't even know it was her dad. I really like that story. So I appreciate that we got that context for this doll. I still don't know that I got doll from it. I got more of like Swamp Witch, which is fine. I still like it as a look itself, even though it is a little bit. I don't know. It gets in its own way a bit. She seemed to be having a hard time delivering this look and staying composed, I guess, to a degree. But it's still not a bad look for me. I just wish it read doll a little bit more than it does.
I agree, and I will acknowledge I am not Peruvian. I don't know very little about Peruvian culture, so this could be the most obvious reference in the world to someone who is from or is knowledgeable of that culture. Could be a blind spot. I don't know. But what I will say is, judging it from my unique perspective, I don't get it. I think her story was moving, and I think it was truly like, oh wow, that's a really rough thing to go through. But from just the look, and I'm trying to be objective, I didn't get doll from it at all, and that's why it was the other one in my bottom two. I think these were the only two. This and Vivvi were the only two this week that I didn't get didn't get doll from. So that's why they were my bottom two.
Yeah. So I did try and do some research just to try and figure out what the Peruvian influence could be from. And I don't necessarily understand the bottom fabric here, if it is trying to be, from what I found, a chinque doll. It just, from what I had seen, they are more of a burlap texture, like the rest of it, all the way through. I can say this does look somewhat like a doll based on the amount of stuffing coming out of it, but for me, I fail to find killer in this almost at all. And I mean, the dress, unfortunately, was not able to be moved around in really well. It did kind of over encumber her, and I think they suffered for it at the end.
Okay, scores.
44. I'm sorry.
I did have it at a 65.
I gave her a 75. And you know what? She is the only confirmed watcher from this cast too. So I hope you feel good, Brooke. No,
I don't. Thank you so much, David. I'm trying to be as
No, I get it.
as
She gets it
impartial
too.
as I can. Desiree, I hope you seem like a lovely person. Please do not get that
Yes.
twisted. I've tried to just give my honest take. I'm sorry.
Yes. And also, Desiree, if you're watching, I want to go to Peru. It's like probably the number one country on my bucket list that I want to go to. So let's go. Okay, next up we have Asia consent. What do you think, Brooke?
Not my favorite this week. I didn't hate it or anything. It was just kind of fine. I don't know what I'm really looking at is the problem. I'm really confused. It felt kind of muddy. Like, maybe it was the lighting, because I never really felt like I got a good look at the outfit itself. And that could have just been a stage problem, not an Asia problem. I still, like, even in the screenshot, I still fully am not sure what Asia is doing. I think what I can see, it looks fine, like pleasant enough. I just like it kind of meets the criteria. I still don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, I can't feel it. I feel like I can't judge it. But from what I can see, I like it enough.
That was my exact problem. I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, maybe I am missing a major cultural reference here, but is it wicker? Is it like a wicker doll kind of thing? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the trident in the basket mean. I don't know why there are so many spikes. I genuinely do not know how to judge this look, because I don't know what I need to know to judge it. It fits the killer very clearly. I don't know if this is a doll or something else I am majorly missing.
That's interesting, because I definitely got doll right away when I saw it. Like, I got the kind of doll. So when you think of voodoo doll, you might think more of like pies kind of doll.
Oh,
But
we were going voodoo.
yeah, that's totally what I got from this.
That
Like,
makes a
made out of
lot of
straw
sense.
and sticks. Like, more of a cultural, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when I look at specifically like more into traditional, like Haitian,
Right.
Those kind of references, no, it does track, and in that case it smashes it.
No, this is a fan. Now that you have pointed that out, completely changes my perspective on the look.
Okay, good.
I didn't get it. So now that I get it, great look, 10 out of 10. Like,
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad, because this was definitely in my tops. I thought this was so cool. Like, she just really knows how to pay attention to all the details. Like, there's so much to soak in. Like, I can't wait for her to put up an Instagram version of this so I can just really zoom in and get every little detail. I love how her face is. Just having this whole like straw wig, I thought was so cool. The arms, don't know what's going on there, but it intrigues me. So yeah, I thought for sure she was going to be in the top. I was a little surprised when she was safe. Scores.
Now I have to reevaluate scores. I had everybody's scores like ready to go. Okay. I still think this would have been fourth for me, just look wise, and I don't really remember her too much in the lip sync, so maybe that's why she wasn't at the top. I'm guessing she was close. I'm gonna go 85. I feel like that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the context that I do now, 88.
I gave her 92. Okay, and our last look of the night, last but not least, we have Auntie Heroine.
Holy shit. I mean, this is a crazy prop to have on a main stage. And I think this is genuinely one of the coolest looks I have seen on Dragula. The actual Jack in the Box itself is beautifully well done. You can immediately tell what's going on. It is very clean. And then the side pieces drop to reveal the killer part. And what is a little hard to see based on the edit and based on the fact that we can't exactly see the sides of it very well. there are full, fleshy, meaty faces, bones, everything within that cube behind the knives. And when I saw that, literally my jaw dropped. This is incredible. And I just want to know how this was pulled off, because how the fuck did you get this to Dragula? Like, logistically, this seems like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like it is so impressive. The size, like I am a size queen when it comes to drag looks, and this definitely met the criteria I was looking for. I think the look itself is very good too, and she was the most constricted with like how much she could move during the lip sync, but she still made it work. It was a lot of the swaying, but she really nailed the movements of that Jack in the Box. My only issue, my only issue I had is she gave so much thought into this look. The only thing she did not think about was during the judging, I'm not going to be in the box anymore. And that actually did kind of bother me because we just saw her standing on the stage during critiques in just plain black slacks. And it really took me out of everything I had just watched. So I wish she had given some thought into that, and maybe, I don't know, something with like a spiral going down her waist, or something that made her still look like the Jack in the Box that was just ripped out of there, not slacks. That just kind of bothered me. But overall, I still thought she was top 2 of the night for sure.
For me, it's funny you mentioned Victoria Black earlier, because I am going to bring her up again. Vividly remember a specific look of Victoria Black's from season 2, the Ghost Town look, where she was in that like fortune teller box. And this is probably, I think, the closest I have got to being fully immersed in a like prop on Dragula since that look, I think. This is outstanding work from top to bottom. And you know, okay, I get where you're coming from, David, about the critique, but I mean, lucky for Auntie Heroine, they scored before critique, so there we go. I think this look is immaculate from head to toe, to the tippy tips of those legs coming out of the side of the jacket. I don't even know where to begin of positivity on this. I think she was great in the lip sync for a very restricting outfit. Notes, by the way, people, you don't have to be in a small outfit to do lip syncs. If you want examples of that, you could look at Jackie Cox on Drag Race season 12. You can look at Auntie Heroine here on Dragula season 6. So I love it. I love it a lot. And I think this was my favorite of the week.
Okay, scores.
Overflowing, Cindy the TV is leaking, etc.
Cindy, the TV isn't just leaking, but so is every single fucking power outlet within the tri-state area.
Not the tri-state area.
Sometimes I feel like I need to give my scores first because I'm a 93.
It's okay.
And
David.
you're wrong. Anyway, let's move on.
No, David is not wrong. David is entitled to his subjective opinion, just like the rest of us, okay?
And his
David
opinions can be wrong.
No,
I have a right to my wrongs.
David does not give out full cups very often, okay? He is much more selective in his full cuppery, and I will respect that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you know what else I appreciate? The people who stuck with us this whole video. And we really appreciate having you here. And if you stuck around this long, you probably should subscribe. And I know some of you are watching that have not subscribed yet. So just do it, please.
We're this close to 2K, y'all.
Yeah, we are. We're almost there. I feel pretty confident by the time this video is out, we will be at 2K. But get us to 2,500. And also like this video, share this video, and comment on this video because I love reading comments. And you can follow our social media. They're scrolling down below. That's all of us. And you can go to lanagcreations.etsy.com and get some cup merch. And we will see you next week, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Abora.
Abora. See, we did mention her at least once.
We did
This
it.
time.